Welcome back to day 2 of the UK Healthcare Boys Basketball KHSAA Sweet 16 basketball tournament. Today's winners of the first game are the North Laurel Jaguars. We have head coach Nate Valentine, student athletes Jordan Rawlings, Cole Jervis, and Reese Davison. Coach, comments, please.
Just extremely excited. That's the first state tournament win in school history right there. 35 years, and these guys are the ones that got the first one, and nobody will ever take it away from them. But told these guys they just kept fighting, and that's what they've done all year. I heard an interview last week. Somebody said North Laurel, they just won't die. We 2 overtime games to get here. Have to score in the last 10 seconds and get a stop there. Like these guys, I'll go to war with these guys any day. They just they keep fighting. That's what we talked about. Like Austin Sperry is unbelievable. He's an unbelievable player. And goes 9 for 12 tonight, 3 for 4 from 3. I don't know that I've seen a guy like he shot 23% coming in to the regional tournament, and he's now 17 of 31. Like a big lights player. That dude's phenomenal, and he's going to be really good at the next level. But just super, super proud of our guys for everything that we've done. Obviously 17-day layoff, you don't know how you're going to respond to that. I didn't feel like we were ourselves at times. But these guys just keep fighting. It's not always pretty, but man, they just grind it out and find a way.
Questions?
Over there. At least 36 points, 9 rebounds. Now, I guess it goes without saying, but how comfortable did you feel out there?
From the tip, I was just like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. So when I saw open shot, I just took it, and then thankfully my teammates had confidence in me, kept giving me the ball. So
right here.
Back to Reese. Those free throws were a little shaky there. How nervous were you there at the end?
I was a little nervous, especially since I missed the one before. I knew I had to hit both of them and get the win.
Very back to your left.
Hey, this is for I'll get this one for the players. Obviously you guys have had a lot of great talent at North Laurel, and then specifically in Laurel County. What does it mean to you guys to be a part of the first team to win in the state tournament from your school?
We've worked our butt off doing this, and this is just the biggest thing for us, because this is all we've talked about since we were little kids, is to go to state, win a couple games, maybe even win the thing.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. We've worked so hard to get here. We started off, we had games in the season against top 10 opponents that we've lost, and just like that game, by 1 point in overtime or so. So it means a lot to be able to go out here on the big stage and be able to finish the game and move on, and like I said, be the first team to ever do it.
Thanks to coach too for scheduling a tough schedule all year. It definitely makes these games a little bit easier. We got a lot more experience to work with.
Here in the back.
Coach, you were saying, even in your own region, North Laurel wasn't predicted to go very high, so a lot of people doubted you, but you said this team, they don't finger point, they just go to work no matter what in those 2 overtime games, So what does it say about this team that, that they were the underdog and a lot of people down, but they kept believing and they got that tight win?
They've done an excellent job of not worrying about what other people say about them. I think that's the biggest, and I always say McDonald's doesn't worry about what Wendy's is doing. We try to worry about ourselves, and they just stay together. Like they're a really close group. They stay together, and a lot of people say that. But when you have a group like this that you're able to coach, and their parents are 100% supportive of everything that you do. Cole Jervis is a senior. He didn't start. He's our only senior. He didn't start at the first of the season, and not one time did he pout. Did he complain? Did his parents complain? Like fully supportive. He's all in. Whether he's in the game, on the bench, doesn't matter. And he's the only senior, and it just, that trickles down. Our guys see it, and then the other guys see it, and they're like, well, if he's a senior and he's not out there, I can't complain either, and it's just contagious. And they, like Cole said, they just, they get in those spots. I think we're picked 7th in some of those in our own region, and we knew, like early on, our goal was to go to the state tournament and win a game, or 2, or 3, or 4. That was our goal. We didn't start this thing and say, well, let's just, play the season and see what happens. So just says a lot about these guys and their character, and they're they're not done. Well, you know, they're going to keep going and hopefully, you know, get another one.
Right here. Coach, only 2 turnovers today. That's impressive in any game, but given the stakes and given, you know, that it's a state tournament, it's, you know, what do you attribute to that? And, you know, is that something that, you know, obviously, you know, taking care of the ball is important, but is that something that you would have expected that your team to do here in the first round?
Well, we've worked. These guys have worked hard 17 days. I mean, they probably were miserable there for a couple weeks, but I mean, we went hard. You know, we didn't. The last 2 times we came here, I felt like we weren't prepared because we were a little too easy, just trying to get the horse to the race. But this year, like, these guys grinded for 17 days and they were ready to play today. But you know, I think everybody does what they're good at, and they don't try to do anything else. You know, and Cooper and Cole do such a great job out top. You know, Reese is great at finding guys. You know, if you go back and look at the games that we get beat, his turnovers are high. You know, when he takes care of the ball and Cooper and Cole take care of the ball, and we can have Jordan out there stretching the floor. You know, everybody just plays their role, and that's a key for us. If we get over 7, 8 turnovers, we get in the danger zone. So that's been a point of emphasis for 17 days.
Here at the back.
Reese, man, you was on fire. Like, when did it start? You started saying, like, man, I got something here.
Really the first quarter, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, it just felt good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Here on the corner.
Coach, that last inbound attempt with 3 seconds left, Reese ended up stealing it, but it also looked like they were having trouble finding what they were looking for. What did you talk about during that timeout?
We just want to make it tough on them, not go for a steal. You know, be solid. You obviously had to find Honeycutt, couldn't let him get a look, and you know, we talked about it. There was enough time to where it's not one of those where you can punch it out. You know, we just said, hey, if you get a chance, go grab the ball with 2 hands. Don't hit it out. Don't punch it. You know, and we've had buzzards luck for a while. I mean, we lost 3 games in a row where we had the lead in the last 30 seconds in December and January, and so like we've been in these situations, and there's no better practice than real games. But you can tell these guys anything and they'll do it. Like, there's no question it. They'll go out and do it. They'll do it the way you want them to do it. They believe, and we have a ton of confidence in them.
Final question right here.
I got to ask, you're down, you know, 1 point there in the last 30 seconds and need a turnover or a foul. I mean, what's the mindset there to hurry them up and before foul?
Just keep fighting. I mean, that's what we've done all year. Just keep fighting. Like, you play it out. You know, we went through that in the region tournament. I think, you know, we had the ball, we turned it over, South turned it over, we turned it over, South turned it over, 4 straight trips. You know, those games are hard to win. You get 11,000 people in Rupp Arena with the lead, like, it's hard to win, you know, and if you haven't been in those situations before, it can be very tough, but these guys have, and, you know, you just keep playing till the final horn, and that's what we talked about in December. You know, we were a couple games over 500, and we're like, we're going to play it out. You know, we're going to keep fighting and keep playing it out. So that's kind of our mantra: is put our head down and work and keep fighting.
Coach Valentine, congratulations to you and the North Laurel Jaguars. Good luck the rest of the way, fellas.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, exit to your right, watch your step.